Like he's what is he? The second biggest star in MMA right now?
Who's
Gotta
that?
be close.
You talking about Street?
Masvidal, yeah. I mean, look,
Second biggest?
he's got to be, right?
Can't be.
Maybe third under Jones. I mean, who's bigger than Masvidal right now?
I think he's
McGregor, Jones, maybe, and then
McGregor, Adesanya, Jones.
Maybe Adesanya. Yeah, yeah, 3. So number 4. That's. I mean, I can't think of another one.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Here with my jiu-jitsu coach again, Mike Sanford, at American Top Team, Gulf Coast, D'Iberville, and Gulfport. So we're going to talk about some of the fights that happened the past week, I guess, because there's 2 cards and then one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, big one this weekend.
Yeah. Is that probably the most excited you've been for a fight for a while?
Yeah, man, something about, whenever McGregor fights, it's extra exciting these days because, he's kind of changed the game in a lot of ways,
Oh, yeah. He hasn't fought in a year. The last one was Cowboy. When was that?
Yeah.
Like December or something?
Yeah, it was, no, it was earlier than December.
I can't remember exactly. Let's talk about the Max Holloway Calvin Kattar fight, which I think Calvin Kattar is a beast. I knew that because we fought. My first fight in the UFC was his first fight in the UFC 220. Remember, he fought Shane Burgos.
That was his second fight, though. So you were gonna fight in the Contender Series when he got his first fight. He fought Andre Fili. Remember? He was in the same locker room as us when we were getting Jason ready.
Who did?
Kattar.
Did he?
Yeah. So me and you were getting Jason ready for his fight with Lamas, and Kattar got on that card. He fought Andre Fili, and when I saw him hitting pads, I just remember thinking to myself, Andre Fili's in for a rough night.
Damn, how do I not remember that?
Oh, man, he was in there with us, and he was sharp on those pads. And I remember being really impressed with him and wondering why I didn't know who he was.
So this was the same night or the same weekend before that I fought the Contender Series?
Yeah, it was.
So I just flew out from that. I wasn't there for the fight. Remember, I wasn't in the corner. I had to fly out to go to Vegas.
Yeah, no, you were there for most of the week, though.
And I'd never heard of the dude then.
Yeah, but you saw him on the pad. You were watching him. Everyone was watching him.
I don't remember. So how'd that fight go?
Yeah. He beat Fili. Yeah, and that was
Easy.
his first fight. It was his first UFC fight. I didn't really get to watch. I was cornering that night, so I don't remember the details, but I remember it was a pretty clear win for Kattar. It was an impressive. It was kind of what I expected when I saw the way he was moving in the back. It's hard to tell when somebody hits pads sometimes.
Yeah,
because you got some guys that are super sharp in the pads and they can't fight at all.
Exactly, because the pads don't run away like the person does or move like the person does. That's why when I hold, like I try to make it as realistic to the way that you can be. Like some people hold the pads and they'll hold right here and then move this way, and I'm like, it just is not realistic. I'm going to hold the pads, and then you get to the angle where it's over here hard for me to hold, and I'm going to find a way to hold it from right there because that's going to be the realistic look you're going to have and feel for me. You know what I mean? Most people don't hit the pads the same way that they hit or fight. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, there's some guys you can just see their form and be like, that guy can fight.
Dude's a monster.
Yeah. So, I remember like Mike Davis. When you see Mike Davis's fighting stance, like, all right, that guy can fight. You're like that. Kattar's like that. You just have really good fundamental stances, and everything comes from that stance. Looks powerful, looks crisp. So you can kind of get a feel, but it's still no guarantee until fight night. And Andre Fili is really experienced. That's a tough first fight because Andre Fili I think he was ranked back then. Man. So that was a big opportunity.
It must have been short notice then.
It was short notice, I think, yeah.
He looked good then. Then when he fought Shane Burgos, and Shane Burgos is a beast. Yeah. He was in the same locker room as us. Remember, it's just us two in there. Or no, it was 3 of us. The Julian dude, another dude that was on the Contender Series. He's doing pretty good too. But he looked good that night. It was back and forth. Shane Burgos has really good striking too, good boxing. But he ended up catching him later on and finishing him. Did he finish him with a submission, or did he finish him with? I think I'm thinking of when Shane fought Kurt.
Kurt, yeah, because Kurt knocked him out basically, and then he got an armbar in Kurt.
But yeah, so Calvin ended up hurting, knocked him down a couple times, or knocked him down, and then finished him with strikes. But since then, I've been keeping up with him because I fought a dude from Boston on one of his teammates, Kyle Bachniak, then, and
I didn't know they trained together.
Yeah. And he has been killing it. Who else did he fight? He fought Zabit in the last round. Zabit won the first 2. He won the last round. It was only a 3-round fight. It was weird because it was a main event. Should have been 5 rounds. But the last round, he started coming on.
Zabit has no chance of a 5-round fight.
He knows Zabit wasn't trying to do a 5-rounder.
Yeah.
But he looked good against Zabit the 3rd round. Knocked Jeremy Stevens out. TKO'd him with that. Was it an elbow or a hook that he knocked him down with? He hit him with the elbow. At the same time, his nose got broke by Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he
that was a crazy finish.
Knocked Jeremy Stevens down with that and finished him. I think he got a bonus for that.
Yeah, and Jeremy Stevens was on fire at that point. Like, he was looking really good for a minute there.
Oh, yeah. And then he lost that fight and then the Jose Aldo fight. But those are both beasts. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't
he lost to Zabit, too. I bet, man, Zabit's another one of them. He's getting all my money. I bet against Zabit way too much. I'm not betting against him anymore for a while.
Did you bet against him on me?
I did. I bet on you. And
I got
really good odds. Well, you took a short notice. You got a good excuse. I bet on Jeremy Stevens, and then I bet on Cater. I lost all 3.
Man. Yeah, I figured.
I thought all 3 of you guys good matchups to beat his ass.
I messaged Jeremy too. I was like, man, you need to do this and this because it worked for me. Like, move away from the power, or move towards the power hand. Like most people tell you, move away. Like he's not knocking anybody out with that punch with that right hand.
He doesn't want to throw it. He wants to spin.
He wants to spin. So you move. You don't move to the right. You don't move to his left. You move to your left, which is going to be his right towards the power hand, and you're safe because he wants you to move where you're taught to move. Away from the power hand to your right, his left, and he's going to spin, try to do all that kind of stuff.
He actually did try to do it. He just wasn't. He wasn't as tight as you were, so like he wasn't able to land. He was keeping out of range when he did it. Yeah. And Zabit's way rangier than he is, so that was, I think, part of the problem for him. It's it just didn't work out for him. But he kind of tried. I saw the effort there.
Yeah.
I still thought all Jeremy needed was like one good shot.
All he needs is one good shot against anybody. That's why I was surprised when he fought Jose Aldo that he didn't knock him down at least once. But Jose Aldo blasted him with that liver shot, that left hook.
Aldo's a serious monster, man. He's a beast.
I know. I wouldn't mind seeing, even though he doesn't fight at 45 anymore, Calvin Kattar and Aldo, because that'd be a good boxing match. Because Aldo doesn't really, other than this last fight, and you told me, I was like, man, if he kicks, he'll win this fight. Like, he's not going to kick. Remember, it was on the podcast. But he kicked, and man, it made a difference. But his boxing is pretty good. I want to see him and Calvin Kattar. But so the whole point was how good Max Holloway looked and how Calvin Kattar said he was the best boxer in the UFC, and then Max Holloway says he's the best boxer in the UFC. Who do you think is the best boxer in the UFC?
I mean, look, so Cater's got really nice straight punches, and he's got a lot of great elements of boxing in his game.
Power,
Yeah, great power, great straight punches, really good combinations. Timing's excellent. He understands distance well. But, I mean, Holloway's clearly, the better overall boxer. And then if you watch Holloway's fight with Poirier, no question.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you got guys like Poirier and obviously McGregor's fought in boxing at a high level. McGregor's learned to land his left hand with incredible consistency in MMA. I've been most impressed with, Holloway's phenomenal, but I think Poirier's evolution for his boxing game has been probably the most impressive.
That's what I was hoping you'd say. I'd say the top 2 boxers throughout all of the UFC are going to be Dustin Poirier and Conor. Now, I think Dustin has the better pure boxing. If you watch him hit pads and you watch him fight, he's basically boxing in there, and he'll add kicks and doesn't really check too many kicks. This is why LA got beat up by what's his name that fought Khabib last? Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje was landing a bunch of leg kicks, calf kicks, but that's because Dustin has that boxing style down, so he doesn't worry about that foot being turned out. He's in here at boxing, but
Well, Dustin ended up knocking Gaethje out.
Yeah, no, I know.
Super
I was just saying the leg
yeah.
kicks were kind of susceptible.
They were problematic, yeah.
Yeah, so if Conor kind of takes that into consideration, even though he's a southpaw, it's a little different, but he can use that. Who do you have for that fight?
Man, it's a tough one. Like, so I'm leaning towards Conor, you know. But it's I would not bet on this fight, you know. It's a tough pick.
If I did bet, I would bet I'd have the same. I'd have a card, and I would have one with Dustin and one with Conor.
Yeah.
But
what are the odds?
I don't know. We can probably
look that up, Jamie.
Look it up, Jamie. All right. So we got McGregor via KO, TKO, or DQ. I don't know why the DQ's in there. He's a minus 175, so he's a favorite on that. McGregor via submission. If you bet on him to submit Dustin, which is not going to happen, Dustin's a good black belt. It's plus 1,800, so you bet $100, and he ends up winning that. You get 1,800. Poirier via KO, TKO, or DQs plus 450. Him, I'm surprised him via submissions only plus 900. I figured it'd be a little better than that. I figured it'd be equal to the KO, TKO. Poirier for decision is plus 650, and Conor for decisions plus 600. So they have Conor right now is minus 175, basically.
Do they have just for Conor to win on there?
I don't see it.
So, yeah, they're probably really close. If it's Conor by knockout is minus 175, they're probably close to – it's probably pretty close for a decision win.
Let me see. McGregor heads into the fight against Poirier as a minus 310 favorite. Never mind.
He's a minus 310. All right, I guess minus 310 to win by decision.
No, that's to win.
To win, yeah.
And then Dustin's at plus 250. So if you bet 100, you get 250.
It's weird that if it's like more specific, you get worse odds. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, I'm backwards. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I got confused on that for a second.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I love Dustin. He's a good dude. I think he's gotten a lot better since the first time. But Conor just is good with that left hand.
Yeah, really good.
I think it'll kind of be like, it'll definitely go longer than the last one. I think it'll be more like the Eddie Alvarez fight. When he fought Eddie for the second belt, I think it'll kind of go like that. But I'm rooting for Dustin.
Yeah, I'd love to see Dustin win it, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta
I hate that it's not for a title.
I know. Yeah, I was surprised, man. I thought for sure that was going to be a title fight.
Especially when Khabib says he's not coming back. Why would you not?
Yeah, it was a weird move. I guess Dana's getting too much criticism about letting Conor get title fights all the time and not defend him. I don't know. But
I guess I could see that too because...
Also, it probably doesn't matter. He's going to sell it out either way. They don't need to put a title on a Conor McGregor fight to sell it, you know? So.
Well, Conor is ranked 15 too. And if you give anybody a title shot, you got to give Charles Oliveira a title shot.
Well, I mean, Poirier's got a good – I mean, he lost to Khabib, right? But, I mean, he's won everything else, and he beat Dan Hooker in a comeback fight. Like, it's a reasonable title fight. Like, they've done way worse title fights than this.
I
way
agree.
Worse.
I agree 100%.
So, I was surprised.
With that being said, Michael Chandler and
Hooker.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Who's your favorite on that?
Man, it's another one. It's a really good matchup. You know, I haven't followed Chandler as closely as I should have. I just don't watch as much Bellator, you know. But, I mean, look, if you want to bet on fights, you go to Bellator. You pretty much just pick the favorite. You're going to win every time, you know. So that's why it's a little 100%. Hard. It's just like you already know who's going to win. But Bellator's got some phenomenal fighters. You know, they're just not matched up as competitively all the time. But I think Hooker is really – he's hot right now, man. He's come into his own. He seems to fight really well against shorter grapplers. I mean, I picked against him in a couple fights. Like when he fought Gilbert Burns, I thought Burns was going to kill Hooker, you know? I thought Ali Aquinta was probably going to beat Hooker, and he destroyed both of them. I was really
How did
impressed.
that Gilbert Burns fight go? Dude,
Hooker ran through him. He just shut down with the distance control, ended up rocking him with the knee and then knocking him out.
That's right. That's right. And Gilbert's got it. And now Gilbert's
fighting for the title.
Yeah. And I said this in the last one, man. It's so crazy because Jason beat that dude.
Yeah.
That, which is a completely different weight class, but still, he was fighting at 45. Jason.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even really a close fight.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, styles make the fight, you know. And I think Hooker learned a lot from that fight. You see, actually, Hooker using a lot of things Jason used against him now.
Yeah.
So, like, I think Hooker's a smart dude, really cerebral fighter.
Smart.
You know, and that's the thing, too. Jason's like a heart fighter, you know, and Dan's a very, you know, head fighter.
Yes.
So I think that style matchup at that time was really bad for Hooker, but he learned from it, man. He took a lot of Jason's elements that gave him problems, and you see him use them now all the time, you know? So, and he seems to do that every fight. He's got a great camp. You know, his camp's been killing it. I mean, they're a small gym, and they're like top ranked in the world. Yeah, they got 2 titles.
And he's almost been up there for a title, so they're all top 5 guys.
Yeah.
Well, who do you have?
I got to pick Hooker. You know, he's on point right now. I can definitely, like, if it wasn't for, I'm gonna go with Hooker on this one. You know, it's definitely a close matchup, and I could see Chandler dominating just as easily as I could see Hooker knocking him out immediately. But I think Hooker's shown his takedown defense is really strong.
Yeah.
He knows how to hold the range. He's got devastating power. He's really good against shorter fighters. He's got all the weapons. I mean, I think Hooker's got everything where he needs it to be right now. I think they like the matchup and they asked for it. And I think Hooker's, you know, ready to give a UFC welcome to Chandler.
No, I agree. Chandler has problems when he goes against really, really good strikers that have good takedown defense. So when he fought Pitbull, I mean, they're basically just standing and striking because he couldn't take him down or can't. He knows he's not going to be able to take him down, and then he ends up getting knocked down and TKO'd. But I think he's gonna not Michael. Hooker's gonna be rangy, and when Michael tries to get in, Dan Hooker's got good knees. I think he's gonna land one of those knees to the body, keep him back, and then I think he ends up TKOing him. Probably 3rd round. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. You know, I personally, I'm thinking it's going to probably go to a decision this time. I think Chandler's going to be really weary of those knees because Hooker's destroyed so many people already.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be really worried about that, you know? So you got to have some balls to just change levels on Hooker these days, you know? After what he did, like, because he hit it on, well, who was the first guy he got? It was, what's his name? The British boxer. Man, I can't remember his name right now.
Was this at 45 or 55?
It was 55. But he just, you know, guys that dip their heads. Like, he just drops.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't. Think
that was the first one. It was a fight that
he's had like 3 of them like that.
Yeah, he's had 3 of them like that, man.
He fought this older dude, Ross Pearson.
Yeah, Ross. That's what I was thinking of. Pearson.
I don't think he's British. I think he's Australian.
Is he Australian? I thought he was British. All right, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess he's Australian. All right, I thought he was. Wasn't he on? He was on the UK Ultimate Fighter though. Maybe that's what.
Was he?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, he might be. I don't know. We have to probably look that up too. But.
Well, I think you're right because I don't think he'd be Australian. If he was Australian, I don't think the UFC would match him up with Dan Hooker being from New Zealand.
No,
they would probably train
together. No, they matched. Man, New Zealand and Australia. That's how they had Whitaker versus Adesanya. That was huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But I think he got Pearson with it. Then he got who was it? Well, he ended up getting Burns.
Yeah, Gilbert
Burns. Like, he hit
Burns.
Burns with it. He didn't knock him out with it, but he followed it up.
But he knocked somebody else out with it too.
He did knock somebody else out with it. Another head dipper. You know, it pretty much. That's kind of why I mean, Poirier dips his head a lot too. That's kind of why I was like, I wasn't. You know, I was definitely picking Poirier. I felt Poirier was going to win that fight because he's a better fighter. He's got a better camp.
Honestly, I didn't think that fight was going to be even close. I thought Dustin was going to derail him. Like.
Man, a lot of people. That's why I got pulled into a bet. A lot of people thought that, and I kind of got pulled into a bet because I was talking on one of the forums, and you know, somebody was like,
bet?
"Man, this is a bullshit matchup. You know, Poirier needs the champion. You know, he's gonna run through. This isn't even a real fight." And I'm like, "Man, if you think Hooker's gonna get run through by Poirier, you are dreaming." And then it turned into me picking Hooker, which I really didn't. I kind of felt Poirier was gonna win, but I knew Hooker had a good chance.
Just because you wanted to show it's going to be a good
But
fight.
the guy basically said, "Well, if you think he's going to be such a close fight, why don't you bet on him?" I'm like, "Well, give me 2-1 odds and I'll bet on him." So I did, and I wasn't sure I lost that bet until they read the cards, the scorecards, you know.
What'd that guy say? He didn't say anything. I told you.
Well, he actually tried to not pay me. He was like, "Man, you were right. It was a super close fight." But I paid him anyway. I paid my debts.
Didn't you have a bet with Alan one time for Conor or Chad Mendez fight?
Yeah. Alan creamed me on that one. Again, McGregor and Zabit cleaned me out.
Yeah.
I always fall for that when the guy's got a lot of hype and they talk a lot, you know, and they act better than they are.
Zabit don't talk a lot.
Well, his whole camp, but he's got like the showmanship, right?
Oh yeah.
So when the showmanship is selling the fight more than their actual fundamental skill set, I tend to like, oh, I'm going to bet against that guy. You know?
See, I don't think it's a showmanship either. If it is, it's a showmanship in there, like
in the ring,
throwing the flashy stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, with great balance. You know, guys like that look a lot better than they are.
I agree. So I even thought Michael Venom Page wasn't as good as he was until I saw him fight
Douglas Lima.
Yeah, and when that was a close fight, I was like, oh man,
yeah, he did good against Lima for a minute there.
Yeah, he was beating him.
Yeah,
I got Dan Hooker on that. Another Dan Hooker fight that I thought wasn't going to be very close was going to be Paul Felder. I thought Paul Felder would go in there and piece him up.
That was a really close fight, man.
Man, and Felder is so good. He just always in those close ones somehow just doesn't pull it out sometimes. Yeah. Who is his last
people
fight?
Are like that. It happens, man. He lost 2 in a row. It was Hooker and then RDA.
Was it RDA? Yeah. Oh yeah, last minute. And it was super close.
Well, I think that one wasn't as close, but I think he still got to split decision.
Oh, definitely not as close.
Yeah.
But he took that fight on.
Yeah, I think it was short notice, right?
Like a week's notice, not even a week, and he had to go cut to 155.
I love Felder, savage, man. He's on the mics, you know, calling fights and, you know, doing breakdowns. And then week's notice, yeah, I'll take that fight.
Yeah.
I love guys like that.
So back to Max Holloway. You think he's gonna have to fight again before he gets a title shot, or what?
Man, what I love about Holloway is I don't think he cares, man.
I know he's amazing.
Care.
He said he doesn't care.
He's amazing, but I think he deserves it. You know, so we'll see. He might do a title. What would be cool? Holloway versus Zabit, next title shot.
I want to see that fight.
I think it'll happen.
I think Max Holloway will piece him up.
And for Zabit, it's worth the risk because Zabit's been really careful about the fights he's taking right now. He's trying to get Yair Rodriguez like 15 times. I know. They got to accept that fight's not going to happen, though.
But my question is, why doesn't Yair want to do it?
I think, you know, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. Because it's like you're right there. But I guess, yeah, I personally think it's a pretty even matchup. I think Yair thinks he can probably get a better matchup.
I think Yair has the better boxing.
I think he's got more power for sure.
The better boxing and the better kicks. I think Zabit has the better wrestling.
But man, Yair's takedown defense is really underrated.
I think Yair would win that fight. I think it would be a fight though. It wouldn't be like, I think Max Holloway's just gonna tool him.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it, but I agree. I think Yair would win also.
You don't think? You wouldn't bet on the Yair fight?
I'm just not betting against Zabit again.
I would 100% bet on Max Holloway versus Zabit.
Yeah, but what are the odds going to be? Like 1,000 minus that.
If you're not going to bet against Zabit,
imagine the strike differential in round 3 when Zabit just stops doing anything. It's going to be like 5,000 strikes to 0.
It's going to be a 5-round fight.
They'll probably do it. No, they're smart. Zabit's got a great camp. They're not going to put him in a 5-round fight with Max. What they'll do is they'll get
it as a co-main.
Yeah, they'll get a co-main on some other title fight.
It would be when Brian and the
co-main
event for that card.
That could happen.
Well, no, the co-main event for that card is supposed to be the fight that what's his name, Kamenev or what's his name?
Kamenev.
Yeah, him.
Oh wait, no, you're talking about Kazmat.
Yeah,
Kazmat. Yeah, or Kamzat.
Leon.
Is that on again? No, they keep taking that fight off.
No, it just got put on to they announced it yesterday.
It's the third time.
The third time. They just announced it during the fight yesterday.
All right, good.
He's going to be fighting Leon Edwards on that card as a co-main event.
Man, that's impressive. Like Leon Edwards is serious business, man.
I think Leon wins that.
I don't think there's many people that can beat Leon. Like
that's one that has good boxing too that we didn't talk about.
Great man, just great overall. Like his clinch game is phenomenal. Like he's really impressive.
Yeah, but he doesn't ever fight.
I know. Yeah, a lot of people he wants to fight up, and the guys that are up don't want to fight him.
Well, I don't think you should really have a choice. If you're in the UFC, you should have to fight who they give you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess once you get into those top rankings, though, these guys are really careful about their fights sometimes, and who they pick and who they accept. But I think that's been a little bit of Leon's issues. I think a lot of the guys that want to fight him are the guys below him. I don't think there's a whole lot of guys that really want to fight Leon.
Beat the dudes below you then.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
I mean, if you're gonna beat them anyways, if you feel like you can beat them, just beat them anyways. Then they can't deny you.
That's kind of what he's doing with Kamzat, I think. Because Kamzat's kind of worth it. Kamzat's starting to build a name. And man, like he's good. Like that's a serious fight though.
And I want to see him versus
Kamzat's wrestling is incredible.
I want to see him versus Street Jesus.
Well, that's a fight everyone wants to see.
Everybody wants to see it. We want to see it.
Except Masvidal. He's the only one that don't want to see it.
I don't think Masvidal's scared of that. I think he's going to try to give him some biscuits.
Masvidal has never been scared of a fight in his life, but now look where he's at, dude.
I don't think he's scared of it.
Yeah, well, I don't think he'll take it. I don't think he'll do it unless
I think he will.
Unless Leon gets the title.
I think you will.
Yeah.
I think to get to a title fight, I think you will.
I don't think Leon's worth enough money. He doesn't gather interest the same way that the other guys do.
But Street Jesus does. And
he does. But that's what he can fight anybody. He can fight an easier fight. He can
no,
fight Nate Diaz.
But they already have the background with it.
Yeah.
With the 2-piece and the biscuit.
Yeah, but that's a tough matchup for I don't think Masvidal will win that fight. Like, and Masvidal in the past, he'll take any fight, right?
I don't know.
He was the trailblazer that like showed you how to beat the specialists in the past. Like he would lose to like guys like that's why I thought he was gonna lose to Askren. He would lose to guys like Maia, but then show everyone else, oh, that's how you have to beat Maia. I got him now, and then all these other guys would fight after him. Yeah. But now look where he's at. He beat Askren. He finally got past that road where he showed people how to beat the guy, but he actually won the fight. And, he got himself a title shot, and he made himself, like, he's, what is he, the second biggest star in MMA right now?
Who's
Gotta
that?
be close.
You talking about Street?
Masvidal, yeah. I mean,
second biggest?
He's got to be, right?
Can't be.
Maybe third under Jones. I mean, who's bigger than Masvidal right now?
I think he's
McGregor, Jones, maybe. And then,
McGregor, Adesanya, Jones.
Maybe Adesanya, yeah. Yeah, 3. So number 4. I can't think of another one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was it? They put him on the cover of. I mean, he had what was that? That pay-per-view he did with Diaz was like one of the biggest pay-per-views ever.
No, yeah, I think he's top 5, being number 5.
Yeah,
maybe. I think there's somebody else that we're not thinking about that's in there, but I like him a lot too.
Yeah,
been watching him since backyard days. Literally used to watch him on YouTube.
Yeah, Alex Caceres too.
See, I never watched Alex back then, but I remember that.
He didn't look the same. He was just like a skinny kid.
Super skinny, no fro.
Yeah. It's funny how like their careers, like they were both like almost gatekeepers, but then
and then
Masvidal just took off.
But they were both almost cut too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like their last fight.
That's the peril of being a gatekeeper. You're always almost cut.
No, well they both lost like multiple fights in a row.
Yeah.
And then we're about to be cut. And
Masvidal's were all fights that he arguably won. When has he ever lost a clear besides, Usman, but all of his fights are super close.
Well, I can tell you what, he did not lose that Ally Quinta fight that they gave him a loss for. That was crazy. That's the fight that Dana White, when you go backstage, he doesn't let y'all come whenever we're back there. He's like, fighters meeting only. And he brings us back there and he's like, I can't remember what they call it. I think they call it the owl rule, or the Ally Quinta rule, where you can't cuss on TV or whatever or do all this, because he won the fight, but the whole crowd was booing and all this, and then Joe Rogan was like, hey, stop booing, and then they just keep booing, and he's like, fuck y'all, and like flipping the birds, and it was crazy. But I remember that, so he definitely won that fight.
Yeah, he's from my area. That's how we talk.
Oh yeah, so what do you think? Do you think that being on ABC was a good thing, like a big deal, or not much, or what?
I think it's cool, man. So they did the Fox thing for a while, and ABC is a different audience too. So it's now we get all the people in the left wing to start watching UFC.
Well, the thing that my problem is not problem. I don't think it's gonna be as big of a dramatic change as people think, because if you haven't seen or known about the UFC or watched the UFC fight before in the past 20 years, then you got to not have TV. You know what I mean? You got to be an Amish person or something.
That's true, but when the marketing's hitting what you're like, so if you're watching shows on ABC, I don't even know what they play. I don't watch TV, but let's say you watch.
You're one of those guys that haven't seen any MMA fights.
Yeah, you're watching TV and you see the ads for it. You can say, oh, that looks cooler than I thought. I've heard of UFC, I saw clips of it, but I've never been marketed it before. So like when they start marketing it and showing you what it's all about, and you start to like see this guy that knocks everybody out with his left hand, and talks, says, who the heck is that guy? Like, all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more interesting to you. It starts to chip away at you. And then it's like, yeah, I'll check that out. And then you turn into a fan.
So the way I was thinking about it was, I was going to talk to you about the football games, the playoffs this weekend and last weekend, but I'm sure you don't know anything about that.
Nothing.
All right. So football's been around since, what? Maybe longer than that. I can't remember. But how mainstream football is, you probably couldn't tell me half the penalties or what's happening during the game. So that's what made me think, all right, I guess it is good that it's going on to ABC. And I never said it was going to be a bad thing. I never thought it was going to be a bad thing. I just didn't think it was going to be as big of an adjustment for people as what they thought. But when I was thinking about that earlier, I was like, man, Mike probably couldn't tell me what 3rd and 20 means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
or what a false start is. So I was like, if he doesn't know that, and that's the main sport in our country, then yeah, I guess we definitely need to be on ABC.
Yeah, the more exposure it gets to people, and the big thing is how many people are watching ABC when these ads are getting run. That's going to be a big factor. And if they're looking at these numbers, and there's going to be a lot of people watching it, a percentage of those people are going to become interested.
What are
and they're
the
going to tell their
numbers?
friends about it. I don't know. I have to look it up. But it's probably
get the numbers, Jamie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can look them up, and if they're better than Fox, even if it's the same as Fox or less, it's still a different crowd of people. So he's reaching more people over these decades. That's kind of that's why look at how far UFC's come since UFC on Fox.
No, yeah,
crazy.
For sure.
Like it's at least doubled. In fan base.
And it wasn't a bad thing that almost every single one of the fights on the main card was good.
Yeah,
they were almost all finishes. I want to say there was like 4 knockouts, but all good. And even the 2 heavyweights they were throwing down, so that made people more interested. It'd be bad if like you had one of the bad ref stoppages, or that you had like boring fights where people are just holding each other.
UFC on Fox 1 was just a one punch knockout and the fight's over.
Yeah. So yeah, with the Max Holloway fight where he landed a million punches.
Yeah.
And then Calvin Kattar never quit and still throwing heaters in the 5th round. I mean, that was good for him. A couple of people that I thought looked good yesterday. You said you didn't get to watch the card.
Yeah,
Mike Davis.
He's always sharp.
One of the homies, yeah. Mike Davis, shout out. Man, and he fought a dude that was – I never looked the dude up or anything, but I saw he was double champ. I want to say it's for like Cage Fury or something. But the dude was 10-0. He was double champ for them. And that dude could take a punch and can land a punch. Like Mike doesn't throw anything like – he was throwing everything 100% and landing hard. I want to say in the 3rd round when it showed the percentage of – strikes landed, I want to say Mike had thrown like 170 and the other dude had thrown like 280 or something, but Mike had like a 56% land ratio. So, and throwing hard, I thought he was going to knock the dude out a couple of times, but that dude got hit and immediately threw back, and it ended up getting Mike kind of tired, and so it made it a really good fight. I think it was 29-28 with all 3 judges, and they got fight of the night. But that was a good showing for him because
I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, because he went through a lot. I know he was telling me like he was riding he does like a lot of road biking, and he was riding his bike down the road and a car hit him.
Holy shit.
Yeah, going pretty fast. And then he's had a bunch of other injuries. I can't remember what all they were. I think like a hip and a knee or shoulder or something. And so it took him a while. He hadn't fought. Who's the last guy he fought? He came in, fought Gilbert, ended up losing that one. Got submitted, I believe.
Yeah, Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Beast.
First fight.
Yeah, it was super short notice, too.
Yeah.
And then he fought one other dude. I can't remember who.
He's had a couple wins.
Is it 2? 2 wins?
Let me look it up real quick.
Well, I know for sure it's 2 wins because he won one of those and he won yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he did more than that in the UFC. To pull out. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Because he fought Gifford. He killed Gifford.
Oh, yeah, Thomas Gifford. Did he get a bonus for that?
He should have. I mean, it was no, he didn't get a bonus. He got a bonus in
this last fight.
Yeah, this last one.
Yeah, he didn't get a bonus because that one fight was so one-sided.
Yeah.
But, no, so he looked good. Matt Schnell looked good. He's from not too far away from, I want to say around New Orleans, Louisiana. His boxing looked good. I think he was ranked number 8, fighting a number 9 or 10 dude. So
he's a bantamweight too, right?
I think this is a 25. He used to be bantamweight.
Yeah.
25. I guess the last thing I got is a weed legalization or marijuana legalization.
Yeah.
Even though it's basically legal up until fight week. Like, so what people don't understand is you could smoke weed all day long, every day, up until fight week. They can come test you and you can smoke a joint in front of them. That doesn't matter. The only time that you couldn't have, and you could still have some in your system, you just could only have, I don't know the exact amount, a certain amount on fight day. It's not even fight week. The time frame that you have is from 12 o'clock fight day until after you get checked by the doctor after the fight. After that, you can have whatever you want to in your system. As far as, I mean, not steroids or anything like that, but as much weed or mushrooms or whatever, which mushrooms you can't test for, but as much weed as you want to. In between that little 6-hour period, then you can't, or however long that is, you can't have a certain level of weed in your system, I guess. But now that's changed. But it's only changed for USADA, which is not the commission. So if you go in there and you're fucking blazed out of your mind and you get tested by the commission, because usually you get tested by the commission and USADA. Now there's times where I only got tested by just USADA, and there's times where I only got tested by the commission.
Depending on what state.
Yeah. So, but there's times where I got tested. Most of the time I got tested by both. And it's always random. Every time I'd come in there, like, oh, we're only going to get like 3. The whole fight card, they'd only check like 3 people, and there was like 4 times where I got checked. I was like, what the fuck is going on? There's no way that's random. They must think I'm doing something.
Yeah.
So, but out of the 4 times, 3 of the times I got checked by both USADA and the commission. 1 time I didn't get checked by both. So if you have, I know in some, I want to say Texas, if you have any weed in your system during fight day, then your fight gets turned over if you won, turns into a loss, and you got to pay a fine. So until that gets changed, nothing's really changed.
Yeah, man, it's like the Nick Diaz rule, I guess. With Nick Diaz, Gogo Plata's Gomi, and then gets DQ'd.
And then if you think about this, if you got a bonus, then you got to give that $50,000 back.
You don't keep it? No. Oh, they don't give it to you until
Well, nowadays, I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was maybe it was Super D, Jafari, wrestling coach out there at Cowboys. He was telling me, I can't remember who the guy was, but he had just won his fight, and he got 2 bonuses. He got a performance and I think a knockout of the night bonus. And I think his pay on top of that was like $100,000 for winning and showing. So
a fair amount of money.
He had already spent like $30,000 right away and came back and popped for weed, and he ended up having to give both bonuses back, which back then there were $60,000. So he had to give $120,000 back in bonuses, and he had to give away $50,000 for his win purse. So he had to end up giving $170,000 back and only made $60,000, and the fight got turned into a loss. And I think Jafari said that the dude stayed in bed for like 2 weeks, did not move, didn't do anything.
I'm glad he got out of bed after 2 weeks. That's terrible,
bro. $170,000, man, I'd go kill somebody.
That's the thing. Like this is basically criminal, And I guess the argument
this was a long time ago.
Back then, if you knew it was illegal,
why would you do it?
Why would you do it?
Why would you even do it? But I guess you don't know if you're going to win. You're not going to know that you're going to get a bonus. But still, even if you don't win, you still got to give away some of your purse if you lost and you got caught with it. So I don't understand why you do it at all. But
well, it's easy for me to say. I mean, for me, like I can't be even if I'm in the same room as weed. I get sick. It makes me sick, like literally sick. There's some people they get like that with alcohol. There's like an alcohol flush syndrome. I think I have the weed version of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bruce Lee had that. He couldn't drink alcohol. Like it was weird.
He had the Asian flush. I swear to God, in college at one point, I had that. You could tell if I had been drinking. Like my face would get blotchy in certain places. Like it was weird. If I drank so much or I start. People would be like, man, I can tell you're starting to get drunk. I'm like, how? My face would be getting all red. I'm like, man, I don't know what this is. But I'm not Asian. I haven't got my little thing done.
Well, I have a friend up in New York. He's a black dude, and he has too. He can't drink alcohol at all. But like people like that tend to gravitate toward. Like Bruce Lee was a huge weed head. So big time. Yeah, it's very well documented. But like my friend that had the alcohol flush syndrome, he was too. But for me, it's I can't even be near it. Like it's. Man, it literally makes me start throwing up. Like if I smell it for too long, I literally get sick. So for me, it's really easy to say like, why would you just do that? That's stupid, But but I can understand some people. It really helps them, It calms them. It makes them feel good. It's got medical purposes,
Oh, 100%.
But it sucks for that guy.
Speaking of that, did you see where they're doing the research with which has been known, but the mushrooms? Did you see that article? Where Dana White said they're going to start using that, like not using it in the UFC, but doing a lot of testing with that through USADA because all of the beneficial effects that it has from, I guess it didn't specify, or I didn't go look into the article. I just read pretty much the headliner. But
was it by Alpha Brain?
No. It was a post by one of like MMA Junkie or something.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it.
But I'm sure they're talking about microdosing and maybe some macrodosing. I don't know. Maybe you have a hard trip and then do that once and then microdose a bunch. I don't know. But I need to look into it because I'm all about that.
Well, yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. That's the first I've heard of it, honestly. It seems like, if anything, though, they're going to be looking for ways to ban it because beneficial sounds kind of close to performance enhancing.
No. They're talking about beneficial for, like, your brain, like recovery. No. Benefit. For one, you can't test for mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't remember. I think they said you can do, like, one way to test for it, but it's something you can't test for.
It's like a hair test or something?
No. It doesn't show up in a hair test. It doesn't show up in a piss test. Maybe in blood. I can't remember. But I know you can't get in a piss test or a hair test. But I don't know. So maybe that'd be something legal too, and they'll start selling. Well, mushrooms are going legal. Like,
yeah, they legalized everything in Colorado, right?
Colorado, I know. In there's a city.
Oregon.
There's a city in California that completely legal. You can go buy from whatever.
Seattle, or was that in Oregon?
No, it's like Compton or somewhere in California.
Yeah, you can buy anything in Compton.
Yeah, not legally, but I don't know. That's pretty much all I had.
Yeah.
I said I would announce that I had a big fight coming up, and the big fight fell through. I know people thought maybe I got a UFC fight again, but I did not. I had a fight lined up against an ex-UFC fighter. What was his name? Misha Tate's old man.
Yeah, he was
old,
pretty
old
good.
Man.
He was
What's that dude's name?
Fish hook or something. I don't know.
What?
There's a fight where he fish hooks a guy.
Oh yeah, it's Brian Caraway.
Yeah.
He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He's been in the UFC for like 10 years. Me and him were gonna fight, but I guess they didn't get it figured out with money on his part. So we're not fighting, and I'm still trying to get a guy. So we'll see. I'll be fighting March 20th regardless.
That's right, man.
I'll fight as many times as they need me to make it back in there, and if I don't get back in there, it is what it is. But I know hey, speaking of that, Jason's got a fight coming back up.
Yeah, Jason's gonna be fighting not too. When's yours? It's March 20th.
Mine's March 20th. His is March 5th.
Yeah, March 5th. So you guys will both be fighting in March.
Who's he fighting?
Jason's fighting a guy named. It's changed a few times. A lot of guys, for some reason, it's been difficult to get a matchup to stick for him. But it looks like this one's gonna stick. This guy is. He's got a hard to pronounce name. He goes by Tori. All right. But his real name is like Torres or Torresi or something like that, Borges or something.
And where's he training out of?
Hard to pronounce. I think he's out of Missouri, I want to say. And
what's his record?
His record announced in his last fight was 18-5. And I don't know if that was 100% accurate.
Him and Jason are pretty close.
There's some different records online, for him. So I got to find out what his actual accurate record is. He won that last fight, so he got announced as 18-5. So presumably after that fight, he was 19-5. But I also found online that he was listed as a few different records. So it could be 19-5, could be 19-11. We're gonna find out. But overall, I think Jason's coming back strong. I've been talking to him. He's at work right now, but he's coming back to training next week.
Coming back strong. He gonna be training.
Well, he can't look, man. I was impressed. Last time he came back, he hadn't really been training. I thought he was gonna be terribly out of shape. He came back and he killed that Airdyne bike. Made everyone look like a bitch. I was like, all right, Jason Knight's serious about this, So he came back in shape last time.
There.
Yeah, he came back in shape. I think he's gonna come back in shape this time too. So I think it's gonna be easy work for him. I think he's gonna run through this guy and get his ass back.
Yeah, he definitely wants to make it back.
Yeah.
Another one, Chase. He has a fight in April. I don't know who he's fighting. I haven't talked to him about it. He's been asking me about hitting pads. So
yeah.
Do you know who he's fighting?
I don't know his opponent.
And I don't think he's announcing, so I don't think I should announce it if I do find out.
But Chase's last opponent ended up getting a really nice knockout yesterday.
Man, the Ike Villanueva fight. How did he not get $50,000 for that?
Because I guess
they wanted
got it.
Khabib's cousin.
Yeah,
and
they got to promote the hat.
I understand that,
yeah.
But Khabib's got enough money to give him his own bonus if he wants to. That fight wasn't anything like the knockout that he had.
Yeah,
I thought Mike deserved one, and then I thought that he should have had the other performance.
Yeah, there's something to be said for who you know sometimes,
Oh, every time. That's how people get into the UFC. That's how they get bonuses in there.
That's the truth. Yeah,
not every time, but that helps out. It doesn't hurt you for sure. But that's all I got. You got anything you want?
No, man, that was awesome. I'm looking forward to the fights this weekend. I'm excited, man. Anytime there's a special aura around the Conor McGregor cards. It's he's the biggest star we have in sports right now. Really, I mean, definitely combat sports. But
Yeah, I was gonna say not even just MMA. I think like
try to think of who's a bigger star than Conor McGregor right now, and you have to go to like movies.
you had to go to the movies. Some like football players like Patrick Mahomes.
Who?
This guy, the guy that just signed a $580 million contract.
So you know what we got to do, man? What I really want to do is, since I don't know shit about football, I want to pretend I'm a football judge, and we're going to score a football fight like an MMA fight. Because half the judges in MMA don't know anything about MMA. You know, so we'll sit down and we're gonna score a football match. I'm gonna score it to the best of my ability based on my current knowledge.
You're just gonna look at the bottom of the screen where they keep the score.
Yeah, I'm not. We're gonna delete that. I'm gonna score it based on effective aggression. You know?
Oh yeah. What team's more aggressive?
Yeah.
Who gets to midfield or into the red zone more often? It doesn't matter who scores.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna score it like an MMA fight. We're gonna see how that works out.
Because our judges don't know how to score.
Well, for real, I mean, it's a sport, and you don't know who's winning. Until it's literally pure guesswork. They literally tell you, do not let the judges score your fight. That's what you're told at the beginning of the fight.
Yes, but people don't understand. Like, oh man, you shouldn't have let it go to the judges. All right, motherfucker, if it was that easy, then I would have knocked the dude out or finished him if it was that easy. It's just not
How about
that easy.
Get a competent scoring system and some competent judges to score it. You know, It shouldn't be. First of all, it shouldn't be judged. Nothing should be judged that's not a performance art. You can judge a performance. You don't judge a sport. You score a sport, right? I mean, what about tennis? Tennis is a head-to-head sport. Imagine if they judged tennis based on performance. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't add up. So they need to figure out a new system for MMA and overall. But it's hard to imagine. They just got to reinvent the wheel. The whole reason that you'd score something the way they score it now is so that you can pick the winner. You know, if you want to be in control of who holds the wins. You know, like if you're the mafia and you run boxing.
Yeah,
that's literally how it started.
100%. But we're gonna have to save that for another one. I know we said we were gonna save that for the next time we did the podcast, but we're gonna have to save that for the next time we do a podcast.
For real.
But ending thoughts. All right, we're just gonna pick the main card, going from the bottom to top. I don't know who Marina Rodriguez is.
Ribas.
You got Ribas? Me too.
Yeah,
against Amanda Ribas, yeah.
They're blowing her up. They're giving her a favorable matchup for sure.
Now, Marina Rodriguez is ranked number 8, but I don't know who she is, but I know Ribas is a beast, so I have watched her fight. And then we got Matt Frivola, who is on the Contender Series, and he's fought a few people that I know, and he's got Otman Azatar. I remember him fighting and starching the dude last fight that he fought, and it looked good. So I'm gonna have to go with Otman. I think Matt's a little slower. He's tough. He's not gonna quit.
Yeah,
but he's not fast enough. He just hits hard when he does land. I got Otman, and he hits hard, and he's pretty fast and pretty technical. Then we got Jessica I versus Joanna Calderwood. Who do you got?
Man, I'm a Joanne Calderwood fan. I love her. She's awesome. She's super technical. I personally, when she first came to the UFC, I thought she was going to be like the Anderson Silva of her division, you know?
Where did you see her fight before?
The Ultimate Fighter. You know, she did the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, I didn't watch any of that.
Yeah. I saw a few of her fights in there. She ended up losing to, I think Rose like jumped guard on her and armbarred her.
Yeah. See,
but she looked like a monster.
I don't think I've ever watched one Ultimate Fighter. But with that being said, I met JoJo a few times, especially because I'd go out to Vegas and train and stay out there. And every time I'm in the PI, she's like, "You gonna go get you a JoJo shake?" I'm like, "What is that?" And it's just like a certain protein shake that she has made up. But I'm gonna have to go with Jessica I on that one.
She's a beast, man.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see why. I think she's probably the favorite, right?
She is not the favorite.
Really?
It's super close. It's Joanne. She's minus 125 and Jessica I is plus 105. So basically even. Jessica's ranked number 6. Joanne's number 7. And JoJo beat Andrea Lee, who I thought was definitely going to beat her. I thought Andrea Lee was going to win that one. So she surprised me, but I got Jessica I. Yeah,
I can see why. JoJo's been a little inconsistent, but I think her skills are there. You know, I think she's going to win this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with JoJo.
Yeah, so we're opposites on that. You didn't pick the Matt Frivola fight.
I'm with you on Frivola. I mean, I'm kind of like, I haven't seen that much from really either of them, but I've seen more of Matt. But I agree with you. I think, from what I have seen of Ottman, he's a beast. And from Matt, might be open to getting hit by a beast a little bit more. So.
Yeah. All right.
He's super aggressive.
So we both got Rebus. We both got Ottman.
Yeah.
You got Calderwood. Dan Hooker versus Chandler. We both got Dan Hooker. Let's do these last 2 fights. Let's pick a round or decision how it's gonna go. I got Dan Hooker round 3 TKO.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Hooker by decision.
See, because we on these last 2 we got the same people, so we got to kind of.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hooker by decision.
By DC. All right, and then Poirier versus McGregor. Who you got? We already know McGregor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with McGregor. It's close. That's a really close one for me, but I'm gonna go with McGregor. I would love to see Dustin win.
Yep,
I'm
me
hoping
too.
he does.
And round and
the reason I think we didn't really talk about this one that much, really, but I think the reason I think McGregor's gonna win, Dustin has never beaten a southpaw.
Who all southpaws has he fought?
I mean, well, besides McGregor, the last one he fought was Michael Johnson. He got knocked out. He's a southpaw. He has trouble against southpaws. Now he's got a great camp. I mean, he's got one of the best. He's American top team. He's got Mike Brown in his corner. They're going to have a phenomenal game plan. I expect to see Dustin throwing a lot of leg kicks in this fight because of the southpaw versus southpaw, stance, and I expect Conor to throw them too. I just think Conor's going to have sharp adjustments and be able to land the more significant strikes.
Yeah. So you didn't pick around.
So I'm going to pick Conor McGregor, and I'm going to go with round 3 TKO.
TKO?
Yeah.
All right.
I might take that 1,800 submission bet though. Hey, you knock somebody down, the submission's there. You might want to prove something after getting tapped out by Khabib.
You put 50 on it, you still get 900.
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
No.
Oh yeah.
If you put 100, you get 1,800.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on now. All right, I'm gonna go.
I'm not a math guy.
I'm gonna go. Not unfortunately. I like them both, but I'm a bigger fan of Dustin. But I'm gonna go with Conor, second round TKO. Like I said, I think it's gonna look a lot. I think Dustin's gonna try to pressure him a little bit, and Conor just keeps his range so good. And when Dustin comes in, he's gonna hit him, and I think it's gonna look a lot like the who did I say earlier? I can't remember his name. Eddie Alvarez fight. I think it's gonna look like that.
Yeah.
So the only difference we had in there was Jessica I and Calderwood, and how Dan Hooker wins and how Conor wins.
Yeah, I think second round's a good pick. I think Dustin's going to be really weary in the first 2 rounds. I think he's going to try to get Conor tired. I don't think it's going to work.
I think he's going to try to get him tired by pressuring him.
Yeah, that's one way to get him tired.
Oh yeah, the Nate Diaz way.
Yeah.
But all right, that's it. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, man.
I guess you coming to the gym tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna swing by after I finish my class.
You ain't coming to the Diablo gym. Get out of here.
I am. I'm going by after I finish my class because I got to go see Seth.
Oh yeah, Seth's got a fight coming up. So I told the Tyler dude to come up tonight because he's fighting on that card this weekend, just so we can work on some stuff and he can use the sauna.
Cool.
But all right, everybody, I appreciate y'all watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and go check out the website at savageassociation.com and get you some hats. And I don't have a shirt on right now, but a bunch of cool gear on there. And like and share. Peace.
All right.